What are the different types of patience? One of the most beautiful topics or subjects to study from the Islamic perspective is that of sabr, what is oftentimes translated as endurance or patience. Why? Because we find that some scholars classified every type of patience into one of three categories. Number one, patience during the times of hardships or calamities. Number two, patience in fulfilling the obligations of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And number three, patience against refraining from temptations. Why are these important? If you look at the various examples that fall into these three different categories, you find that some people, as Ibn al-Qayyim rahimahullah says, they have more patience in one area and they might have less in another. And so a man, for example, might have patience in striving against temptations, but when it comes to calamities, perhaps he has some weakness and he is not able to deal with it properly or fully. A woman, for example, might have strength and patience and endurance when it comes to calamities and hardships, but then when it comes to fulfilling obligations, for example, she struggles or has some kind of weakness. So when we look at these three categories, patience in times of hardship, patience in fulfilling the obligations of Allah, such as the prayer or fasting, and then you have the patience against temptations, we find that all of these three, basically they are comprehensive and they cover every type of struggle and hardship we might endure in this world. So we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to allow us to work constantly on our weaknesses so that we are improving in every type of patience. Why? Because patience is the key to paradise. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminds us of the Quran of the importance of patience when He says, وَجَزَاهُمْ بِمَا صَبَرُوا جَنَّةً وَحَرِيرًا. The reward for their patience, what they endured in this life, is paradise and silk garments. And we find Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala reminding us, إِنِّي جَزَيْتُهُمُ الْيَوْمَ بِمَا صَبَرُوا أَنَّهُمْ هُمُ الْفَائِزُونَ. He is speaking about the believers at the end of Surah Al-Mu'minun when He says subhanahu wa ta'ala, I have rewarded them because of their patience, because of what they endured, and that they are indeed those who are the winners. The real winners are those who are patient and make it to paradise. So my dear brothers and sisters, have patience in any of these three areas. Work on the weaknesses as much as possible and make dua for endurance in everything that you do. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make us amongst the patient and to raise our levels and ranks in paradise. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala knows best.